But yeah, if you are just joining us, we are still in intermission as they get ready to present some Tetris, the Grandmaster 4. We here are at the English language restream for RTA in Japan, summer 2025. And we're vibing out to this intermission screen while they get themselves set up. And we hope you two are enjoying yourselves out there. Oh, and as we say, they seem to be ready. So, Mackie, it's all yours.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this little showcase of Tetris the Grandmaster 4 Absolute I, done by several people. Actually, we're seeing Haruku, Radio 613, Korean, and Running Out Raid, who are very, very talented and recognized players of Tetris the Grandmaster, and more especially TGM4, commentated by Green Tea and Jin Patchy. I'm Mackie, and I will guide you through the concept of the Master Mode Rank Master Challenge. This is a 3-player race, but I believe we're going to see some resets. That is why the estimate accounts for 45 minutes. Now, Tetris needs no introduction. The pieces fall from top to bottom. They are basically, they can be rotated and translated to the sides. In a sliding motion. They can be shifted, rather. And the other important thing to keep in mind is the speed is going to be so fast that the pieces will basically come on top of the stack as they appear. That's going to be the base thing that you will notice in this. This is the toughest game mode by far. You can also see people are choosing different rotation systems. There is Running Out Rate is choosing Standard, and Korean on the top right is choosing TGM. Haruku is, I believe, choosing Standard. Yes, they are. They're both going to go for Master Mode. This is going to be interesting. As you can see, there is a little grade that is appearing on each screen. Bottom right Running Out Rate has Grandmaster. So hopefully we see this during the marathon. We'll see. Okay, they're counting down.
じゃあ行きまーすせーの 3, 2, 1
and Tetris. Okay, so if you've played Tetris, you're probably thinking, well, I know how Tetris works, but this is probably a little fast. Yeah, the pieces are basically appearing at the top of the stack because this is basically already infinite gravity. So if you're not super familiar with Tetris, this is probably this mesmerizing thing that's happening right in front of your eyes. This is normal. This is a mode that is made for veteran players, basically, which in development used to be called Rounds mode, but then got called Master mode for consistency with the other Tetris games, such as Tetris Effect. In this game mode, it's almost invisible, but because there's 3 screens. But you can see that there's the next pieces, so you see which pieces are going to come up next. You can use hold to hold the piece and keep it in mind for future placement. And under the huge queue of 5 different next pieces, or 6 actually to be quite accurate, below that there's a lot of like different statistics. All of these medals do count in some respect. And we're seeing a reset from 613. A little unfortunate, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And we're already in the first gimmick of the game, which is called the Piki for ice. And the Piki is actually very... it can be a huge problem when you start out. You see that on the 2 rightmost screens, a lot of like ice has covered the entirety of the stack. That was basically for a section. We'll call these sections like because they have a concept of level, but it's almost impossible to explain if you don't see the level counter. You can see that the bottom half of the stack is freezing, and like you can see in bottom right and top right as well. Whenever you're clearing a line, the line will not get resolved until the next section. So that was PK1. That was done really well by both runners and extremely fast. I barely have the time to explain any of what's happening. Also done on Korean side. The faster they are, the better it would be. But yeah, and now running out rate, bottom right is having PK2, which is the same thing as before. But in before you would get a section of leeway where there would be no ice left. Well, now we're not doing this anymore. We're clearing the ice at the end of the section, but we're filling it with another patch of ice. And now a good chunk of your lower half of the stack is completely unusable because the line clears have not been resolved. So that's the big challenge here. On top of this, the speed is going to increase significantly, all the way up to 900, which we are seeing on running out rate screen. And now, yeah, the speed is the misdrop is almost a rite of passage. And we're not seeing any of these. And that's actually really good. So remember, I was talking about the statistics. All of the statistics are very important. The number of Tetrises that you do, the number of ice lines that you've cleared, the number of all clears if you are feeling spicy enough to completely clear the entirety of the screen. Number of T-spin doubles that you do and triples. All of this will have an impact later on in the game, and we're getting to the final challenge of the game, which is first of all Cyclone. Cyclone will gradually remove some of the timings for locking the piece, which makes an early locking of the piece like that much more likely. But also, the piece's spawning orientation is random now. So you're seeing them misdrop a bunch of times, Korean and running out rate. You're probably thinking like, what's happening? Well, they're not. They have not suddenly become bad at the game. They are trying their hardest, and they need to not make any misdrops. But we are seeing. Okay, so no. Okay. We are seeing the Master PK challenge. 1300 has been reached, and yeah, running out rate, topped out rank Master. Yeah, if you reach that point, you get the grade of Master. But we're trying to get something a little better than this. We're seeing it on Korean side. Okay, so Master PK means that the pieces are going to start freezing, and when they are frozen, you cannot clear a line with them, like ever. It's basically inaccessible for the duration of the game. I think Korean is also dead. Yeah, very dead. Jeez. Yeah, Master PK is the most incredible, the wildest, most bananas, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Because the pieces start freezing. Once they are frozen, you cannot clear a line with them. Like anything that is unfrozen will get cleared out, but the frozen part will not, and so you will not gain space. So that is already a thing. That is a thing that exists in this video game. The other thing is the rate of freezing depends on the statistics, like how many Tetrises you've done. So if you play really badly, the pieces will freeze almost instantly, which means that you barely can do anything at all.
なるほど。あ、ここでちょっとまず、ゲームオーバーになり
And
ます。
then,
レベル1100で見たマスター、
the only saving grace that can make you like survive this for a tiny bit longer or go a little farther would be a better explanation here. Is if you've done like your statistics in a certain way, every 10 Tetrises give you basically an extra bonus point for your section. So I was briefly talking about the levels. The levels go up by 1 when a piece spawns, and they go up by 1 when you clear a line. But if you've done, let's say, 20 Tetrises, you get 2 additional bonus levels per line clear. And that will be pretty important because up until that point, the final section is 1300. You need to survive Master Peaky, not for a section of 100 levels, not for 2 sections, which would equal 200 levels, not for 500 levels, not for 1,000 levels. You would need to survive for 1,300 levels. So basically, you have to equal like the game duration up until that point. You have to do it with the hardest challenge in the game. So yeah, it's a difficult game. Oh, we're seeing something really interesting on bottom left. Radio 613 is trying to go for a T-spin setup. Unfortunately, is suffering quite a lot of damage because of this and had to opt out of it. But especially in standard mode, and the way the distribution of the piece works in standard mode, there is a way that you can stack it in such a way that you get T-spin doubles regularly. Yeah, there we go. And if you're doing it properly, you can do that forever. Because the way the distribution works is this is basically a 7 bag, which means the randomness is very, very controlled. The first 7 pieces in the game are going to be the 7 Tetris pieces, just in a random order, and then the next 7 ones are also going to be in a random order. So that's basically what you are going to see. Every 7 pieces, you know that the bag is reset and you know exactly what to expect. So you can stack for T-spin doubles, and every 16 T-spin doubles, you get the bonus level that I was talking about. So it is a way to stack and actually gain the extra bonus levels for later on in the game. Okay. Eventually opted out of this strategy. The only person who plays with the TGM rule set is Korean. And Korean is playing with I would say with a rotation system that's a bit more rigid. But it's down the line, it ends up being a bit easier to play at high speed and high gravity. I would say it's a bit more accessible at high level. And also, yeah, that's a shame. I didn't even see Running Out Raid had a Master Peaky section. The big disadvantage right now is that Korean has a much wilder random distribution of pieces. So there's aren't really ways to stack for T-spins with 100% consistency. But the meta has shifted gradually towards you probably don't need to do these, so let's not do them. Yeah,
I can't lie.
Yeah,
I can't lie. I'm very, very like mesmerized by how quickly these players are dropping all these pieces, and with such accuracy. I couldn't imagine doing something like this.
It is definitely there are a lot of like automated movements where like, oh, I know this thing, I know that thing, and there's a lot of pattern recognition. After a while it gets a little easier, but that speed is definitely like very, very impressive. It showcases also a really good usage of the next pieces. You definitely wouldn't be able to do it if you didn't see the next 6 pieces. So at this point they're barely not even looking, like they're not even looking at the stack oftentimes, because they kind of memorize or have an idea what the stack looks like, and they just play the next pieces. Wow, this is really impressive. Running out raid on bottom right is about to top out, but it is resisting and actually has survived this peaky section. Okay, that was really impressive.
増えるんですけれども、その数値にメダルの攻めた数に応じてボーナスが加わります。
Now it's as if nothing had happened. Ready for another round of peaky. Peaky is really important. At the end of the whole run, what you will have done is exactly clear potentially 50 lines of ice, because it happens for 5 sections and it's always the bottom half, so it's the bottom 10 lines. You do want to get that number relatively high, or as high as possible, because if you clear if you clear 28 of these lines, you get the bonus level, and also this significantly reduces the freezing rate of the pieces for Master Peaky. There's actually a new meta that has come out where it's preferable to keep that number as low as possible, but I think right now all of our players here are not using this meta. I think it's way too risky. They want to ensure during Master Peaky that the pieces freeze as slowly as possible to account for several mistakes.
あえて40ぐらいにすることで、メダルの効果が実はもう一つあって、マスター、
Okay, running out rate, getting close to the last Peaky 2 section. That one is very fast. It's very easy to misdraw up, as I had explained a little earlier. Hopefully we're not seeing this and I'm not jinxing the players. Especially because that got very scary, because there was a full line piece that was shoved down the well, but the bottom half was frozen. So the moment where you basically try to do a Tetris, and it was a Tetris, but you're not gaining any space at all. That's I got a little spooky.
そうですね、もうまさにサイクロンに今翻弄されてる。そうですね、これ出現位置がねまた回転して。
And yes, indeed, it is Korean. Korean, the player who we saw at CTWC, who kind of democratized hyper tapping back in the days, and very strong player who was there for TGM back in the early days. Has been playing a lot of different TGM games and different Tetris games. I think he knows how to deal with invisible Tetris. There was another remark in chat, but I would argue that this final challenge is a lot more complicated. We're getting to see Master Peaky. So this challenge at the bottom right for running out raid is very complicated, because if you make a mistake, you're basically dead. You might say, well, it's kind of the same sport. No, exactly, one placement off, and that's it. It's almost unrecoverable. The only thing that can clear some of the stack would be to do a Tetris, but yeah, that Tetris actually didn't clear super well, so it was going to be like, basically it was impossible for him to do any Tetris at that point, so that was just it. And yeah, you might think, oh, it's the same in Invisible, like if you lose sight of the stack, then that's it. That's actually not the case at all. A lot of it is just like managing to recover the information because you can see the current piece, you can kind of move it around, and you can kind of understand what the stack looks like even if you were completely asleep at the wheel. That is not the case here. If a master Piki you make a misdrop and the piece gets frozen and your well is inaccessible, then you cannot make Tetrises. You cannot do anything at all, and that's it. You just have to wait that the stack rises. It's almost an anti-Tetris mode. Because everything else up until that point, especially in the DNA of Tetris the Grandmaster, is you can kind of recover. You can always find a way to recover. There are some very, very beautiful recoveries. But Master Piki? Nah, that's not happening. Sorry, you just have to retry.
どちらを選んでもマスターモードの大きなルールやギミックに変化はないんですけれども、これら2つはテトリスそのものの細かな仕様、そうですね、例えばテトリミノの色とか出現方向、回転法則、
Yeah, to think that I was a little afraid that this mode would be cleared first try. So far, we've seen Master Piki completely decimate the ranks, as it was to be expected. Unfortunately, this is a very, very difficult game mode. I can probably talk a little bit about the setups because I'm not quite sure what Korean is going to do. Probably a 2-white setup. But Running at Rate is actually doing the Kirby machine, and I have to give shout out to Kirby, a very, very prolific Tetris player and a very, very active person in the community. She was the first to invent kind of a solution to Master Piki with standard mode specifically that would make it so that you can play forever with the distribution of pieces, thanks to the more the more controlled randomness of the pieces. The RNG being different, it is possible to do a very, very specific thing, and we saw an attempt at it a couple minutes ago, but unfortunately a misdrop kind of made it impossible for me to show you. Hopefully we get to see one during the remaining 20 minutes. It would be really, really cool to see. Oh no, running at rate. Oh no, running at rate. Oh no! Oh, the speed was getting too high too. Okay, we're seeing Master Piki on Korean side. Okay, that seems to be a 2-white setup. So if you do a Tetris, the only saving grace is it actually removes one of the lines in the bottom. Okay. No. Oh no, that's not enough. Oh, not enough line pieces. And the level says 1423. So he has done about 10% of the objective. It was very impressive and it was really well played, but it's only 10% of what was needed to do in terms of length. Unfortunate. Yeah, I think he was trying to do kind of a 2-white setup where since the ice actually doesn't clear, you kind of use that reasoning to help yourself, and you make it so that a lot of the pieces that you put basically clear entirely. So there are a lot of pieces that you can put on the 2-white setup that will basically seemingly disappear. It seems very strange when I'm saying this, but when you see it, it actually makes a lot of sense. And then everything else is kind of put to the side, hopefully as few pieces as possible, and then you clear a bunch of Tetrises to lower the stack. and in the end it kind of makes sense. But it's basically kind of a chemical reaction that you are trying to master.
そうですね、これ注意深く見ると分かります。これネクスト変な方向になるの実は直前になった時だけなんですよね。
And definitely something that you have to go for. Unfortunately, when it comes to TGM rule set, standard mode has the luxury of being able to do the machine, as people call it, the Kirby machine.
0.5秒とかそれよりないぐらいの時間で、あ、違う、回転回ったから次回転しないといけないとか、回転逆にしちゃダメとか、そういうことになるわけですね。さあ、ハルクさんが間もなく1300にいけるでしょうか。さあ、
いったけど
Okay, Radio 613 actually got hit by the Master Piki, but was actually about to die. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about this is basically from level 1000 to level 1300, you get the Cyclone, which means that your pieces come at a random orientation, and whenever you're not looking at the next piece, you get you basically get jinxed. Pretty hard. And you might think, oh wow, there's 6 next pieces. Like I can probably anticipate like far enough. Yeah, but you only see the random orientation of your piece when it's in the next box. So you see it 6 turns ahead. You're seeing like the line piece. You're like, oh, it's line piece, and then it's coming up in 4 turns. Oh, it's still the line piece. Oh, that's nice. And then yeah, the moment it comes up in the next box, you barely have time to react and notice that it's like vertical instead of horizontal, as it usually is. And sometimes, yeah, it doesn't rotate properly, or it actually spawns inside of the stack, which would mean top out, which actually kills you. And you would have to pre-rotate it by holding the rotation button. But yeah, you have to think about so many other things, because by that point, you're in Master Piki. You have to do 15 different setups to not die. Yeah, the game basically is ruthless with the players.
対戦モードでテトリミノの向きがランダムになるアイテムがあって、
なるほど。
これをちょっと採用させていただきました。
というわけで、過去作で苦しんだ経験があるということで、それをこうインスピレーションを得て作ったということですね。いや、本当に相当苦しんでおります。
So far, I don't know who when the... Oh, okay. Okay, running out right. Oh no! Oh no, there's a hole. Yeah, then the machine cannot work. You have to build another machine. No! The best attempt that we've seen, or at least the most encouraging one, was Quarian's 2 white setup. But unfortunately, it's just...
25分ぐらいになりそうです、経過が。
はいはいはい、OK です。
Oh no, Radio 613 actually got hit.
やっぱ緊張しますね。
緊張しますよね。アガラナイの滝さん、今回初参戦ですもんね。
はい、初です。
RTA in Japan。さあ、というわけで右上のコーリャンさん。
How much of like a mental stack do you really have to work with in terms of like a run where you have 45 minutes and you're really trying your best to clear out to Grandmaster here?
I feel like the mental stack is immense. It's probably bigger than anything we've ever seen, because most of the other gimmicks that we've seen in the TGM series games is generally something that you have to think of like at one point, but you can find ways to mitigate it. The biggest hurdle would definitely be the speed. Here, the speed is kind of the problem, but it's the speed and the fact that you have to look at the next box at the top of your screen to make sure that you know the orientation of that piece is correct and it's not going to get stuck for what you're trying to do. But then you have to look at the bottom of the stack to think, wait, did the piece freeze? In which case I cannot do the thing that I wanted to do. I will actually get it stuck somewhere. Then you have to look at the middle part of this screen for the stack, because you're like, wait, I need to put it somewhere else. And then at some point you are bound to make a mistake, and if you make a mistake, you're basically game over.
感じですね。
はい。
So, yeah, it's mentally exhausting. I could imagine people like doing this for 10 minutes, showcase it just once. I wouldn't expect them to go very far, unfortunately. 45 minutes of this, yeah, I mean, the players are very,
縦に出るな
oh gosh. Yeah, we're starting to see a bunch of like different misdrops. Misdrops very high up on the field, and Korean actually got a good attempt, but unfortunately died. So close to having a functional setup.
回転ボタンを入力しておくことで避けるという操作が必要でした。その操作結構
It's very difficult.
0. 何秒みたいな時間の間に操作を入れないといけないので非常に難しいです。さあ、じゃあ
running out rate. Okay, there we go.
思うので、勝者の紹介をちょっと陣八
Yeah, and even then, it makes it looks like playing all the way up to 1300 is nothing, which it kind of is if you compare it to the next challenge. But you can still die. You can still top out in so many different ways. It's so complicated. Like the moment you're starting to think, okay, I think I have it figured out, I have the ending figured out, then the beginning becomes a problem because of the speed increase. And we're seeing the speed increase actually. Kind of an unfortunate thing actually. Running out rate got cleared the 9th line from the stack, which means that all of the lines under it are unclearable for the duration of this section. So that means this many fewer PK lines, so worse statistics, which means the pieces in Master PK are going to freeze a little faster. Yeah, I mean, I cannot even imagine what they're going through right now. I have to be honest, I'm kind of glad that I'm just not here pushing buttons and just talking.
クラシックテトリスが中心のプレイヤーで、ネステトリスの世界大会やコミュニティの相手ではハイパータッピングというプレイスタイルを広めたことで有名です。
はい。
Yeah, something that I didn't quite explain thoroughly, but from 1200 onwards, the game actually, through a clever sleight of hand, removes your move reset. So up until that point, if you were hitting left, right, left, right, left, right, you would do something that would reset the timer for the piece locking. And oh wait, hold on. No. Yeah. We're seeing something quite cool, but well, the machine refuses to be built.
棒とかって縦と横の2種類しかないじゃんって思うじゃないですか。4種類あるんですよ。
Yeah, up until that point, if you rotate a piece or you move it to the side, then it's not going to be locked immediately. The game is going to wait a little bit extra. From 1200 onwards, that does not exist. So, yeah, you only have what's called step reset, which is if the piece falls, i.e. it goes down the stack, then the timer will be reset, so you get a little bit of extra time. But it's only if it's falling from a certain altitude. And so, yeah, oftentimes you're trying to set up the machine, you're trying to set up your too wide to not have the pieces freeze in a way that, you know, makes the game incompletable. And yeah, you just make a mistake. And the cyclone, and the freezing pieces, and the metal system, it's endless.
スタンダードルール非常に回転が柔軟なんですけれども、柔軟すぎてどっか飛んでっちゃうということがよくあります。左下がハルクさんがレベル1000突入していますので、さあレベル1300またその先応援していきたいと思います。今の2ライン消し非常に綺麗ですね。さあちょっと向きを間違えてしまいました。
Okay, Haruku on the bottom left. We didn't spend a lot of time. Unfortunately, they seem to be having some issues with the cyclone mechanic, the random orientation of the pieces. It's very, very difficult. Because with that speed, if you have no idea what rotation you're supposed to do, it's kind of game over. So
開発者に聞いてみたいそうです。
yeah,
開発
yeah.
者の顔が見てみたい。
顔が見てみたいそうです。今日残念ながらオンラインです。
Right.
いやね、
ゲームオーバーですね。
サイクロンの確かに回転の向きがランダムになってね、凶悪なんですけれども、
なんですけれども、
Yeah, I hope the chat enjoys this. This is definitely this is definitely my Tetris fix for the day. I'm loving this.
はいはいはいはい。まあやっぱある意味こうプレイヤー側に期待してるわけですよね。
Oh no, Korean actually died at 900.
できて当然
So the ninth section, as I explained, has like a very, very fast lock delay. At that point, you still have move reset, but if you blink, basically 3 pieces get locked in, and you just I mean, you're very far gone at that point. Very easy to top out.
本物の鬼は開発者にいたということですね。まあ本当にですね TGM シリーズは、まあ、難しいものを出してそれをプレイヤーがまあすごい乗り越えていくっていう歴史が非常に長いゲームなので、もう本当に作る側も今プレイヤーへの期待がめちゃめちゃ高いということですよね。
Probably I can talk a little bit about the TGM as a series. The first game, I believe, was released in 98. I believe that is correct. As an inspiration from Sega Tetris, actually. Arika's vice president Ichiro Mihara thought the concept was interesting, but felt that after a while, Sega Tetris, well, the arcade game that was released in Southeast Asia, had a couple of flaws, namely the fact that at the end you just can play forever, and was kind of implicated in this new version of Tetris, which adds a timer. We didn't even talk about it, but there is a timer at the bottom right if you were to reach the final grade in this game, which generally is Grandmaster, but is not in this specific game mode. Then you can actually do the same thing but faster, and that will be basically a way to move up the ranks. The first one has actually it is theorized that there are 5 there are people who have gotten Grandmaster in the 5 digits. Kind of in the 3 digits for the next game, which came out is in 2002. And then 20-ish people for Tetris the Grandmaster 3 Terror Instinct who have gotten the grade of Grandmaster. Oh my gosh, we're seeing the machine. Okay, we're seeing the machine. We're finally seeing the machine. So everything is frozen now. And the distribution of pieces makes it so that with the rotation system, you can get LTJ or LZJ, like this. The line piece gets to clear here. The S and the Z. Oh my gosh, we're actually seeing a machine. We are actually seeing a machine. Okay. I am losing my mind. This is happening. It is okay. The speed has gone way up now because it's the 22nd section in the game. It actually is happening. This is not a drill.
音声ぜひ上がらないの滝さんの方に向けていただけると嬉しいです。さあレベル2500で、よし、さあここで
It happened.
到達。ここで一旦ゲームが止まる。
Oh my gosh.
エンドゲームとは。
Oh my gosh.
今これは何が起こってますか、ジンパチさん。これは何ですか、
Wow.
一体。
Incredible. Look at the bottom right.
ラスボスみたいなもんですね。
ラスボス。
Alright. Oh, this is when the game really begins.
5秒間のプレイが巻き戻されて
So yeah, apparently you have to do the exact same thing. There's still Master Peaky,
戻っているのがお分かりかと思います。今1600台
and you have to go back sometime
お願いします。
sometime far back, and then you have to do the same thing again.
到達できるのか、置きミスがあった。さあどうだ。
But is this feasible?
いけるか。
No, the piece didn't get completely frozen.
ゲームオーバー。さあ
Well, we're still going to see a Grandmaster grade
ということで。
素晴らしい
because running out rate actually did reach the ending. So very, very well
グ
done.
ランドマスターの称号を獲得することが
That
でき
is
ます。
incredible. I'm very happy to have seen this.
はい、まだ続きます。
Once the machine gets started, and yeah, I think
そして予定
ROR has like
タイムですが37
the most experience out of almost everyone else.
40分経った時点でのゲームを
GM.
させていた
So yeah, the game actually at the end of it gives you a
あーハルクさん
a rewind of a minute and 5 seconds,
また縦棒だよ。
and you have to redo the same thing but with the 105 a second limit. And if you don't do any of these, if you top out or if you don't do it in time, then you get the grade of Grandmaster. There are grades, which is kind of unthinkable, but there are grades above Grandmaster in this game mode specifically.
なのでできるだけピキーの
I don't know if we'll see them. There's only well, enough time for just one game remaining,
という
basically.
ところの戦い方が主流になっています。なのでカービーマシーンはそれをうまく使って全部のピースを綺麗に消化することができるっていう。
Very, very impressive.
陣配さん、このカービーマシーンなんですけれども、こういう戦い方あるなーって開発時思って
Okay. So Corian's 2 white setup is kind of in danger right now.
こ
Oh, it's very endangered.
まではちょっと想定外でしたね
ああ、なるほど。
はい
想定してな
Yeah,
い。
you cannot do the Kirby machine in with the TGM rotation style. So
ということなんで、
はい。
まあ右端にそ
1393,
こに放り込んでいくっていうプレー
a little below what we've seen before.
試すだろうなとは思ったんですよただまあちょっとこちらでも試してまあゴミも出るし
Unfortunate, but
あんまり流行らない
yeah, that is
はいはいはい。
ただもうここまで
it is pretty difficult. There are several different
なる
setups
ほど。
for TGM rotation system.
業界の発展を遂
There are
げ
a couple of ones that are pretty wild
非常に本当に美しい戦い方で。
that were given as proof of concept, but at the end of the day, you just have to be very, very
そう
solid.
ですね。その回
And
転
unfortunately, slightly more so than in standard mode.
ことによって初めてできるやり方というところですね。TGM ルールだと別の戦い方をしなければいけないということで、実はだいたい5種類ぐらい今戦い方
Yeah, so the someone in chat actually makes a very good point about the washing machine stall strat. So with standard mode, actually, I did say that move reset was removed at the end, but step reset isn't. And there is kind of a rotation that you can do that kind of makes it look like a washing machine, where the piece actually changes altitude all the time. It moves up then down, then up then down, then up then down. And you can play with that same piece forever. And you can kind of cheat your way into getting the next grade, which is Grandmaster rounds, where the very final piece of the game, before you get the grade of GM, you just rotate it for about a minute and 5 seconds, and then you clear the game mode, and then it rewinds a minute and 5 seconds behind. And that means you only have to put one singular piece in a minute and 5 seconds. You do it in half a second, and then you get the next grade. But I think what running out rate was trying to do here was to get a better grade, because you actually they're not all equivalent. Not all of the Grandmaster round grades are the same. And if you go farther back in the sections, you get a higher grade. So I think he was trying to do the proper, I guess, the more interesting, the more hype play here.
はいすごく楽しみ
We'll be able to see it probably because he seems warmed up, and we're getting close to another round of Master Peaky. It's gonna be
すごい
bottom
こ
right.
れから期待したいこととかありますか
そうですね、この辺あんまり喋ると怒られるんで、ちょっとまあ、詳
なるほどなるほど
細は触れさせていただきます。申し訳ないです
そうです
ね。
ね有香さんあんまり情報出さないですもんねはいそうそうそうちょっとね
Okay.
はい
Okay, here it comes.
さあという
Oh no, it's 1200. It's tough to read. I'm sorry. I need to squint my eyes, my very old eyes. But
カービィマシーン拝めるかどうか
okay, next section is going to be.
300突入で
There we go. Okay,
そうですね一旦
seeing Master Peaky.
綺麗にした上でマシーンを
The pieces start freezing.
かなりこれセットアップ綺麗ですが
あーもう穴開いた
No!
これは氷
One of the pieces had not completely frozen, and that actually bit running out rate in the worst way possible.
これはどうなるかちょっとこれ
Nah, there's no way.
処理するかっていうところで
You just go for a regular two.
保険の別の戦い方をやってる
Yeah, you just go for a 2 white setup. But as we've seen, that has chances of doing this, and then you top out, and it's game over.
早い
You may actually opt to stop there. I think that is what's happening.
非常に高いところで耐えている粘っているさあどうだというわけでレベル
Okay,
1000
Haruku is doing really good. I actually survived the fastest section in the game, the 900 one.
代わりにこのサイクロンっていう
Really, really nice.
優しくないです
And it's actually gaining some ground in spite of the cyclone. Oh, but there we go.
事故ることは
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. It even has like layers of bluffing, the no mix-up because sometimes you imagine the worst. You start rotating the piece, imagining that it's rotating in a very bad spot. But it turns out the game actually didn't do anything and you just mixed yourself up.
あーいい掘り
Which
です
is what I call the infamous no mix-up
そしてそうこうしてる間に右上のコーリャンさんも間もなく
Like, the players look like beginners because this is what happens when you have no idea what the orientation of the piece
最
is.
後まで頑張っていただきましょう
入った
あ綺麗ですねハルクさんさあ最後皆さん
Okay, still gaining ground. Still doing it. Still doing it.
やばいあコーリャンさんちょっと大きいミスだここから上で
Yeah, now move reset is removed in that section specifically, so
穴を作って
come on, you can do it.
あーそうですね
Ah,
ここまでです
try
ね
to double tap, which would work no problems, like just 10 seconds ago.
しっかり最後はマスターで決まりました
Oh yeah, we're going to see Master Peaky now. Yeah. Oh no.
始まりましたが
Oh
こ
no.
のタイミングもうこの高さでマスターピキだともうやること
Yeah, I mean,
というわけで
with a stack this high, that was a valiant effort.
獲得ということで
We're seeing Master all the way. Master for Haruku. Congratulations. Master for Korean. And we did see a Grandmasters from Running Out Raid. GG's to all players. Incredibly impressive to watch. And yeah, you definitely need 45 minutes to be able to showcase at the very least the entirety of the mode.
That was I was basically stun locked in my seat watching the entire time. But thank you for your excellent commentary and your insight. Where can we find you on the internet to find more of this insight?
Oh, I stream on Mackie Garou on Twitch. And yeah, I play this game sometimes. I've taken a tiny break, but I do speedrunning of various games. So, yeah.
Wonderful. So that's Tetris the Grandmaster 4 with a Grandmaster rank. Absolutely incredible stuff. Next up, we have Death and Taxes, the run being Utopia percent. And so we're going to take a quick break. We are the English Restream of RTA in Japan, Summer 2025. We hope you're having as much fun as we are, because we have seen some incredible showcases of skill, and there's still more to come. We have just under 24 hours left to go in the marathon, but that doesn't mean we're done yet. Still so much more to come. That being said, like I said, we're going to be taking a quick break while the marathon gets set up for the next run. And yeah, we'll be right back very, very shortly.
はい、奏者からの感想も軽くいきましょうか。アガラナの滝さんどうぞ。
はい、まあラウンドはちょっと取れなかったんですけども、本当にエンドゲーム2600到達できて、いや本当に良かったです。ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。では次にコーリャンさんお願いします。
はい、自己ベストの1489には届かなかったんですけど、目標1400、に設定してたので、それいけてよかったです。TGM シリーズ一生遊べる、ゲームといえば TGM シリーズおすすめです。一生かかっても遊び尽くせないけどな。イエーイ。
では最後にハルクさんお願いします。
はい、私も今回目標だった1300レベルを超えることができることだと思います。もともとこのマスターの設定、マスターランクの設定って私の実力に合わせて設定したもので、レース募集してたらお二人がついてきてくれたと思ってすごい心強い走りができました。お二人にも本当に感謝しつつ、エンドゲーム到達も見て本当に満足です。
ありがとうございます。
はい、皆さんありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。もう一度になりますが、皆さんが苦しんでいたマスターピキ、こちらの解説記事とノートで公開させていただいております。私の X の固定ポストにありますので、攻略してみたいなって思った方はぜひご覧いただければと思います。グランドマスター増えればいいですね。本当に
グランドマスターラウンズ早速してますからね。
僕もね
してますよ。ここ解説してるけどこの人ね実はね
それからハルクさんの方もね記事出したっていうことでね、
今朝の今日の12時昼にですね、このネストリスとこのゲームに関する記事をノートに上げてますので、よろしければこのTGM4 が発売されるまでの経緯みたいなのも見れますので、よろしければご覧になってください。あともう一つですね、この難しいゲームに見えますけど、一応簡単なモードもいっぱいありますので、ぜひちょっとこれでちょっと無理だなと思いつつ、そういうモードで遊んでみていかがじゃない楽しいと思いますので。
そうですね、ビビらずにやっていただきたいですね。
ぜひ
はい、よろしくお願いいたします。じゃあ最後ちょっとジンパチさんもゲームの宣伝をちょっとお願いします。
ありがとうございます。今回ちょっと解説で呼んでいただけたこんな宣伝の場を設けてもらってありがとうございます。そうですね、今回プレイされた TGM4 ですが Steam で発売中です。先ほどちょっとハルクさんの方からもフォローいただきましたが、ちょっと今回はマスターモードっていう結構凶悪なモードをプレイされたんですけども優しめなモードもあるので、興味がある方はぜひプレイお願いします。あと近日アップデートも予定されているので、もうすでにお持ちの方もお楽しみにください。
ありがとうございます。よろしくお願いいたします。はい、それでは、これにてテトリスザグランドマスター4アブソリュートアイのマスターモードランクマスターチャレンジおよび自己ベチャレンジ終了となります。皆さん最後までご視聴ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
続きは、デス&タクシズの RTA となります。引き続きお楽しみください。ありがとうございます。さようなら。
ありがとうございました。
さようなら。